Hey everybody, this is DBS TCG Central, welcoming you to another deck profile. As you guys saw in the thumbnail, today we're doing Ultra Instinct Goku, Sun Goku Supreme Warrior, wicked strong leader. It's from Realm of the Gods. It's pretty much a dredge deck. It's a graveyard centric deck, and it's really, really fun, powerful, mid range, but it can go aggro. Like I say, I love pivot decks, so this one's definitely a great one, and it's all Universe 7, so it's really, really good. So on his unawakened side, Sun Goku. So he's got a permanent. You can't send cards from your drop area to your warp. So that basically means you can't run any kind of overwhelm in this deck because you are putting a lot of stuff in the graveyard, and usually you can use a lot of overwhelm and stuff. But it has a permanent that makes it so you just can't. And it's probably better that way for everybody because this leader would just be so overpowered. If you could throw overwhelm in here too. So when this card attacks, you could draw one card. And then its active main is once per turn, you can burst 3. And then after you burst 3, which means you put 3 cards from the top of your deck in your drop area. Then after that is done, you could draw one card. Then you could choose one card in your hand and you could discard it. And then its awaken is when your life is at 4 or less, or there are 7 or more Universe 7 cards in your drop area. You may choose one card. You may draw one card and switch one of your energy to active mode, and then you can flip this card over. So an alternate awaken, which is great. I love them. That way your life stays nice and plentiful. It's got the same permanent as the other side. You can't send cards from your drop area to your warp, so no overwhelm. Draw one card, then place up to 3 cards from the top of your deck into your drop area. So it's basically like a burst effect. Um, and then it has an active main, whereas sparking 20, which means if you have 20 or more cards in your drop area, this takes effect. Add up to 1 mono red Universe 7 card from your drop area to your hand, and then negate the skill for the game. So that's good for getting secret rare that goes with this deck. I do not have, so I'm just running a different one. I'll show you guys later on. But a plethora of other Universe 7 cards. If you need them, you can grab them from your drop if you need them in a pinch. So I'll show you what he does. The deck is really good. We'll start with this guy here. So Android 17, Heeding the Call. So this guy here, he's really, really good. This whole deck, once you put stuff from your draw, you burst a lot. So all these cards that come with this deck, they really help the deck out because it has a lot of effects from that happening. So the auto on this one, it's got a limit 1, so this can only happen once per turn. You can burst 1. If your leader card is a red Universe 7 card, which it is, when this card is placed in your drop area from your deck by skill, play this card from your drop area. So when you burst this, this can actually just get played right onto the battlefield. So when this card is played, you can play it from your hand. So if you play it for 1, you could draw 1 card. So that's just a little extra draw power for you. It's a Universe 7 card, really strong in this deck. So then I run 4 of the super combo for this deck, which are Frieza, Universe 7 combination. So it's just a sparking super combo, but it's a Universe 7, so it's searchable, and you'll have them in your drop area to help your leader awaken and all sorts of stuff that you'll need. But real simple, just sparking 5, so you need 5 or more cards in your drop area, and then you can draw 1. Your leader stays at high life, so you won't get down to 4 to use a good super combos at all. So it's really good to use that one there. All right, the next card we play is another Frieza. This one, Golden Frieza for the universe's survival. So this guy is super good too. He is dual attack, sparking 7. So if there's 7 or more cards in your drop area, this takes effect. He's got an auto. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 15,000 for the turn. And then it's got an active main where the limit 1, if you pay 1 red energy, If your leader card is a red Universe 7 Son Goku, which it is, and there are 5 or more Universe 7 cards in your dropper, you can play this card from your hand. So 1 energy, it comes out, it's a 19k dual attack. So it puts some pressure on, and it'll be in your drop area. You could do that ability whenever it's there, and it's just really, really strong. So that's right there. Puts a lot of pressure on your opponent to dual attack. Another card we play is SSB Vegeta for the Universe's Survival. All these cards are at a 4 of because we want to get 60 cards in this deck for the most part because we are bursting a lot, so we don't want to like mill ourselves out or anything crazy. So we run 4 of a lot of these cards. So I'll show you this one here. It's Deflect, critical, which most Vegetas are. And it's got an auto. When this card is played, draw 1 card, then choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and they get minus 15,000 power for the turn. Really, really strong. Any kind of barrier removal is important, especially in this format. There's a lot of stuff with barrier that you might need to get rid of, some pesky stuff. It's really, really good. So activate main, sparking 10 for 2. So if you have 10 or more cards in your drop area, if your leader card is a monocolor Universe 7 card, which it is, you can play this card from your hand. So from 2 energy, you're playing this guy, you're getting rid of some barrier stuff. It has deflect, and it's a critical 20k. Really strong. Universe 7 tag also on that. Next card is Son Goku, Sign of Mastery. So 4 of, obviously, in this deck, like I was saying. It's a counterplay, and it's got a limit 1. You could play this card, so you only play 1 of these per turn. And it's sparking 7. So if your leader card is a mono red Son Goku card, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So it turns into a 1 drop. So it's really, really strong. If your leader is a Universe 7, when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 15,000 power for the turn. Additionally, if this skill reduces the chosen card's power to 0, then you could draw another card. So if you do kill the battle card that you give minus 15,000 to, you could draw a card also. So it's a really good card for this deck. It's a lot of in-archetype cards, but there's also cards that I squeeze in here that are really strong to help the deck because it is mid-range and you can pivot to be stronger. I mean, more aggressive if you need to. So now I guess we'll get to some of the boss monsters. So this guy here, I'd run 4 if I had a 4th one, but I do not. He is really strong. Is Android 17 for the Universe's Survival. So this card here is Double Strike, Sparking 7. So you'll need 7 cards in your drop area. When this card attacks, look at the top 3 cards of the top of your deck. Add up to 1 mono red Universe 7 card from among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then it's got an active main for a limit 1. So once per turn. 1 red energy if your leader card is a red Universe 7 card, and there's 5 or more Universe 7 cards in your drop area, you play this card from your hand. So 1 energy, 15k, double strike, sparking 7 with the other ability, really strong and powerful. Universe 7 tag. So now our boss monster for the deck, Son Goku Ultra Mastery. So it's got deflect, so it's coming out. It's got double strike and it's got dual attack. So its auto is once per turn. If you have 20 or more cards in your drop area, when this card attacks, your opponent reveals their hand, and you can choose up to 1 card with energy cost 7 or less from among it, and then you could make them discard it. And it's got another active main where you could pay 4 red energy if there are 10 or more Universe 7 cards in your drop area. Play this card from your hand. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards, and they get minus 35,000 power for the turn. And then you can't play non-red battle cards for the turn. So he comes in, he board wipes, and then he's a dual attack, double strike, 35k. And he has deflect, so he's going to come into play most of the time. If you're playing yellow, they might be able to negate his skills after it comes out, but other than that, he is really safe to play, and he is a powerhouse. He's strong. Some other cards we play. So that's for the most part the Universe 7 package. We have a few more here, but it's more for the defense and stuff like that. I'll show you two more Universe 7 cards. Uh, Barrier removal is always good. So I run two of these. I only run two, and if you mill it, it's not that big of a deal. Say you have what you need with your in your hand already. You can use a leader ability to like pull this card because it's a Universe 7 card, like out of your drop area if you need to. If you're in a pickle and you need to get rid of something with barrier. So I run two of these. It's a board wipe if you play it for 3. If you pay 2 and discard it from your hand, you can get rid of one of your opponent's battle cards with 25,000 power or less. So really strong. All right, some of our defensive cards. In this deck, we stay at high life and we put a lot of cards in our drop area. So sparking negates are really good. You just take 1 life if you have 5 or more cards in your drop area. You can play this card for free. So just because our leader awakens and doesn't take any life, it's really good to play this card. It's really easy to play. You can use your energy for it if you need to, but like I said, you could just take a life and then you'll always have the cards in your drop area for this. So it is really strong in this deck. A tech that I see everybody running, and I've tried it, and it's really, really good, and it's true. It's really, really strong. This card here, it's Vegeta Resolve Renewed. A lot of people are like, "What? Why is this card so good?" And it's an older card. It's a counterplay, and if the battle card that is being played has 15,000 power or less, it's placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played, and then you play this card. So it's also got a permanent. If you have 3 or more energy, you can reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So by 2. So it turns into a 1-drop. And then it's got another active main, but it doesn't pertain to this deck. If your leader card is a Vegito, you can add 1 card from your life to your hand and play this card from your hand. But our leader's not a Vegito. You're playing it for all the other stuff. So this stops Robotic Riposte, the Frieza counter attack that is pretty much a floodgate, like a yellow topo. It gets stopped if they're playing green, the Majin Buu floodgate, and a number of other cards. And the cool thing about this is if you play this card, the card being played is actually put away first, or it's put into the drop area, and then this card comes into play. So they can't counterplay this really. Basically, they can't really counter it. The effect's going to go off first, and then this will come into play. So it's really strong. And for 1 energy, it's really good in this deck too. So it's really good to stop floodgates and a few other cards that are really pesky. So we run Unisons. We run 4 Jiren, 3-drop beast mode monster guy. So if you don't know what he does, when your opponent plays a battle card or a unison card, you may choose that card and it gets minus 10,000 power for the turn. If you do, you can negate the skill for the turn. So really strong right off the bat. You play it for 3 and you can +1 it. And when you give it a +1, this card just gets double strike for the turn, which is a 20k double strike threat right when you play it. So it's really good. And then it's got a -3. Active battle. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 25,000 power for the turn. So this is an active battle. So if they attack you, some kind of beast mode thing that might take your whole, take a bunch of life from you, or they're swinging at your unison or something, or you need to just kill it before it hits you. You could just do this -3 and you can just minus it, ignoring it barrier, and get rid of it if it's 25 or less. And then there's other things we can do too. Like if it comes into the battlefield at first, you can minus it 10,000 right off the bat, and then minus it another 25. So you can get rid of something 35 K if you need to. So it's really strong. Everybody knows about Jiren. Jiren is a powerhouse. All right. Also, we play since we play Jiren, we play this in tandem with it. Videl Encountering Danger. So this is a counterplay. It's basically an upgraded Yamcha, and it's only if you have a unison that has 3 or more counters on it. So it's basically a counterplay, and you can play it for free if you have a unison with 3 or more markers on it. And when you play it, you have to spirit boost to get the effect the Yamcha usually gets for free, but you'll have all the counters you need on it to do the ability. So Spirit Boost is if your leader is red or a heroine card. When this card is played, you can choose up to one of your up to two of your opponent's battle cards, and they get minus 20k for the turn. So if they play something, whatever kind of monster you can think of, some beastly thing, you just drop this if you have a Jiren out for free. Take one marker off the Jiren, and then they're getting minus 20k. Whatever comes into play, or two other things you want to give minus 20. So really strong. A one of. It's just good all the time. When somebody swings on you, when you swing on somebody and then you just drop a double strike on them just to put some more pressure on, it just wins games sometimes. And we are kind of a graveyard centric deck, so I also run two of these Koitsukais. They're so good. So it's like a mid range deck, so you want to be a little controlly. But active main for one energy, you can remove this card from your drop area from the game, and then you can choose up to two cards in your hand and place them at the bottom of your deck, and then you can draw that many. And then your opponent can't. Wait, I'm sorry. Where is it? Skills with a turn. If your opponent plays a battle card with 20k power or less, you can choose two cards in their hand and discard them. So for the turn that this is happening, you can if they play anything 20k or less, they have to discard two cards. So it's very rare that they're going to. So it kind of stops floodgates and other things. So it's really good if you need to get through and make them lose some cards in their hand if you need to be defensive. I mean aggressive. And like I said, I don't have the secret rare Vegeta yet. I'm going to get it. I'm already in talks with someone who has one. So in the meantime, I'm just running Heroine's Lineage. It's really good to surprise your opponent. If they swing at you, you can just literally drop this thing for one, and you can take control of one of their monsters' active battle. So it's really good in that aspect. It has another active main. I don't think it is. You can remove this card from your drop area from the game. You can choose any number of Heroine cards in your hand with cost of 5 or less, and different card names, and you can play them. But we don't run any other heroines. We just use it for the ability where you can pay one energy active battle, and then you can get control of one of your opponent's battle cards. So it's good. It's good. It's a nice budget SCR too, but it just runs really well and surprises your opponent really good. Other cards in the deck that I was gonna put in here, but I didn't. I was gonna put some opposing the opposition, which is the free negate. You could take a life if you're at 5 or less, and then it puts out a blocker token and negates the attack. I have two spot. I have two. I think my deck's at 58 right now, but I was thinking about putting two of those in just to make it go to 60, just because it's a graveyard deck. So you're milling a lot, and you don't want to mill yourself out, especially if you play another deck that's trying to mill you too. This leader is super strong. It's running up the meta right now, and I think that it's going to bring red back completely. I see a lot of people playing it, and I have a lot of trouble playing against it. So I built one. But there's a lot of variants too because of the graveyard action. So there's a lot of stuff you could do with this deck. I've seen a blue-red build, and I was thinking about doing that one too. So that might be on the channel at some point. But I'm DBS TCG Central. Thanks for coming to another deck profile, and I am on Facebook, Instagram, and eBay. So if you guys want to check me out, you can check out any of those platforms, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate it, and thanks for coming to another one.